Outcry and condemnation pours in after an improvised explosive device detonated in a beer parlor besides the Bamenda Regional Hospital went off, killing 2 persons in that part of Cameroon. Also, Tico Divisional Officer Vo Armstrong tightened security in the face of the writing period of the baccalaureate and GCE examination that kicked off smoothly in the town of Tico and her environs. And hopes are high in the Rainbow Nation of South Africa after 28 million South Africans took to the polls today to elect their leaders. This year's election can be seen as a turning point for the governing African National Congress, the ANC party, who can lose her grip in power and representative in the various House of Parliament in the Rainbow Nation of Nelson Mandela. These are major stories. Good evening to you all. This is High Prime of Wednesday, the 29th of May 2024. For presentation, I am attending Larry Kevin Sabot. We start off with the story where from Bamenda, 2 persons have died and 11 others are currently under medical surveillance at the Bamenda Regional Hospital after an improvised explosive went off in a beer parlor besides the Bamenda Regional Hospital, leading to the death of 2 persons and 11 others who suffered from injuries as they are receiving treatment. This has caused the bar owner to point his fingers to competitors in the beer parlor business who he accused of being the mastermind of this said incident. More with our reporter on that. The Bamenda improvised explosive device that was detonated at a bar besides the Bamenda Regional Hospital has left several persons in shock as this incident claimed the lives of 2 persons while leaving others with injuries. With some putting the blame on the Anglophone separatists, the bar owner on his part is of a different school of thought as he indicates it is the handwork of competitors who are envious of his boom in his beer business.
Connect with separatists in another way. So I can't destroy the place, but I'm not getting anything to do with them.
With its proximity to the Bamenda Regional Hospital, the victims were quickly rushed to the hospital for medical attention, though upon reaching 1 person died.
Result, we had received 41 injuries. 1 person died on the spot and was taken straight to the morgue. Another serious case was taken to the theater but couldn't make it, so a total of 2 deaths.
With a total of 2 casualties recorded, the number of persons receiving medical attention at the Bamenda Regional Facility amounts to 11.
And then the socks are going off my foot, the socks just scatter.
I only realized that I have bleeding on my leg, my head, and almost part of my stomach here was bleeding. So that is how I find myself in the general hospital. So they worked on me in the night. I later went home.
As the excruciating pain amongst the victims, eyewitness accounts indicate 2 men on top of a motorbike dropped the set grenades that led to the explosion. These had now therefore led to the SDO from Mezam, who had put a curfew for dusk to dawn. From Bamenda, we take you to the town of Mutengene in the southwest region, where community members in some neighborhoods of Mutengene has expressed their deep satisfaction and congratulations to 2 non-profit organizations known as the Mimi Little Hand and the Tustus Leadership Institute, who has trained young girls and women on how to maintain a clean and perfect menstrual hygiene situation or cycle, as they donated sanitary pads to the said young girls and women in the town of Mutengene. Details with you, Alice Lekeliengu Ikome.
In celebrating the World Menstrual Hygiene Day in a period-friendly world, as the 2024 theme goes, Mimi's Little Hands, in partnership with Tutustus Leadership Institutes, are in the Mutengene community to educate the population on menstrual hygiene and offering them free screening exercise on blood pressure and blood sugar.
So first of all, our mission is to reach out to the less privileged. And we are able to the girl child, the elderly, educating young girls, women and men on menstruation. So we're going to be talking on what menstruation, the menstrual cycle, menstrual hygiene, how they can take care of themselves, how they can manage menstruation, and how you prepare a child as a parent or as a father or as an elder sister to their siblings, so that they know when they menstruate is a normal thing. So we're just combating the stigma against menstruation.
The event, which took place on May 28, saw these two institutions demonstrating on how to use sanitary pads and how to calculate their menstrual cycle.
Averagely, na 28 days be the total cycle. So if you menstruate 21, they know.
Training and raising good leaders also requires that their health are intact for them to function properly.
As Tutustus Leadership Institute, we're partnering with Mimi Little Fingers to come to the community of Quarter 7 in Mukenge, and we're educating the community on the importance of menstrual hygiene in line with the theme for this year's celebration. Also, we have carried out activities like tests. Free tests have been given to the community members. In doing so is overall raising a generation of leaders.
Leaders are people with dignity, and menstruation should be a thing of pride for both male and female leaders.
In raising leaders, we are in the community today to emphasize, to educate our future leaders on the importance of maintaining menstrual hygiene. It is important to know that while on your menstrual cycle, you should be able to take your bath properly, telling them how to change their pads, showing them pads. Some of these children, some of these are leaders, do not know pads. Showing them pads, sharing pads with them, showing them how to use these pads.
Parents now know a lot on menstrual hygiene and have come to the understanding that it is not a taboo.
It has taught us how to bring up our little kids, especially the female ones, for how they can take care of their menses, what is menses, how many days it takes, how they can keep themselves clean.
Added to the free tests that we have done, like the blood groups, HB and sugar. Some of us parents, we used to neglect our own self to go across to check all those things. But today it has been an opportunity to come close to us right in our own community and give us this free screening.
Mimi's Little Hands and Tutustus Leadership Institute outing this day the objective of how to celebrate the day by implementing comprehensive menstrual hygiene education, distributing sanitary pads, and even went overboard by providing free screening exercise.
Still in line with menstrual hygiene cycle and education on that, we move on to the green city of Kumba in the southwest region, where women and girls in the town of Kumba has attended a seminar or workshop organized by one of the non-profit organizations in downtown Kumba, who schooled the said girls and women on how to keep a clean menstrual hygiene cycle throughout their periods while living. This event was presided over there in the Kumba Women's Empowerment Center in downtown of Kumba in the southwest region, where our Kumba-based reporter Roland Tinengwari sat through that event and offers in this report from Kumba.
Authentic Memorial Empowerment Foundation, AMEF, in collaboration with the Women Empowerment and the Family Center and other non-governmental organizations in and out of the country, have today, May 28, 2024, commemorated the International Day for Menstrual Hygiene. Kumba Chief Town of Meme Division witnessed the first of its kind as compared to towns like Boya and Bamenda. The activities, which kicked off with a sport walk around the city of Kumba to create awareness to the public not to see menstruation as a taboo. According to Madame Etim Evenier, the Executive Director for AMEF, education on menstrual hygiene amongst young girls is primordial.
Well, today is the World Menstrual Hygiene Management Day, and at AMEF, menstrual hygiene is a principal aspect in our engagement. Under the AMEF project, which is empowering menstrual hygiene education for girls every day, we've decided that educating girls on menstrual hygiene is very important. As such, we have come here calling on other women, young girls, to commemorate this day. So that's why we are here. We'll be engaging in march past, a walkathon, that is, we'll be marching through the Kumba town with our placards, telling every woman that we can have a menstrual period which is healthy, and also ensuring that we are going to support these young girls with some sustainable disposable pads that they can use for the period of 12 months.
Young girls and women ought to know how to manage their menstrual hygiene. The event ended up with some over 30 young girls benefiting free sanitary pads that will carry them for a period of about 12 months. Some of them expressed their views to the High TV team.
I've learned on the menstrual hygiene and also how to take good care of myself should it be in case I get involved with my menses and the amount of days to which I flow, and the things that I have to know which is normal and the things that are not normal.
We learned a lot about menstruation, how when we are menstruating we have to change our pads for 4 to 6 hours. We change it like we change our pads maybe 3 times a day. In menstruation, we should be very conscious of the kinds of things we do.
All the young girls were made to know that their menstruation is the first sign for their fertility. The event was marked under the theme Together for a Period-Friendly World.
And kind gesture there done by the non-governmental organization. We now talk politics. We crossed over to the town of Bamenda, where militants of the major opposition party in the country, the Social Democratic Front of Bamenda 3 subdivision, have celebrated the 34th anniversary of the La Partie de la Balance after its existence. This year's celebration of the 34th anniversary of the said party is one of its kind, as it was celebrated without the pioneer chairman of the SDF political party, Ni John Fundi. According to the district chairman of SDF party in Bamenda 3 sub-district, Lucas Angu, who says it's time for them to continue making sure that all what the SDF stands for should be reiterated, as he calls on all to make sure that they register on the electoral registrar on elections for next year's 2025 general elections. More with our reporter on that. SDF chairman Honorable Joshua Osinamangi is in the party's birthplace of Bamenda for a consultation and meeting the grassroots sympathizers and militants of the Social Democratic Front party.
SDF, as you all know, created in 1990, has lived through thick and thin in the country. Obstacles left and right that they have been facing. I want to think that if you want me to enumerate them, I'll begin with the electoral system that has moved from one stage to the other, thanks to the battles of the SDF. Moved from Minat to was it Enu? And then transparent ballot boxes were marched by SDF along the street to show that let transparent boxes be introduced into the electoral system, and then election. All of this has been some progress.
The meeting that falls in line with his nationwide tour, as the chairman believes SDF party remains the best choice in putting a stop in the ongoing armed conflict raging in the two Anglophone regions. Aside from the current issues plaguing the southwest and northwest region, he equally called on massive voters registration on elections register for all and to ensure that they cast their votes come 2025 general elections.
2025 is a year that will never repeat itself. And if we fail, we have no other person to blame. And so I am inviting every militant to first and foremost get himself registered. Get himself or herself registered. Mobilize registration beginning from the family to friends to other relations, making sure, especially the young ones. The young ones don't have any sense of registration and voter participation. We need to mobilize them. We need to sensitize them. We need to make it sink in them that participating in the political life of the country includes, and most importantly, voting, registering and voting when the time comes for it.
With diverse discussions and topics discussed with the different attendees, SDF chairman continued with his nationwide tour as he has been to the far north, Adamawa, southwest regions and other regions of the republic, as the Socialist Party believes in the political reawakening of the country for a better and prosperous Cameroon. I will move on to education, this time around from the Southwest region, where the divisional officer for TICO subdivision, Vo Armstrong, has expressed his gratitude in the manner in which exams are unfolding in that part of the Southwest region after he made a rounds to some writing centers in the town of TICO and other parts of the TICO subdivision. He equally has doubled effort and initiative in order to make sure security is tightened and top-notch, so in order to avoid any eventuality should in case it comes. More with a reporter on that is with you, Rita Mafani Ojoko.
The town of TICO, just like most parts of the Southwest region too, equally recorded a smooth start of the GCE examination. The TICO divisional officer, Kawa Vo Armstrong, visiting some schools, was quite satisfied with the level of serenity and seriousness amongst the candidates. Moving from Shaw Foundation to GTHS, GHS TICO and some other writing centers, the civil administrator made sure security was tightened in all writing centers in order to avoid any eventuality. As GCE and baccalaureate exams enters full swing in TICO, the different candidates are taking pride in the writing phrase while hoping good fortune will shine on them by the time of the publication of results.
You are watching High Prime and we are coming to you live from our new studio here in High Television. We move on to the town of Kambe of the Donga Mountain division of the Northwest region, where the mayor of Kambe, Shameful Musa, has launched activities in a cleanup campaign in order to make sure the Kambe town and entire municipality of that structure is being kept clean in all aspects. This was in a cleanup campaign that he launched as it saw different syndicates and other community leaders who all throw their supports behind the mayor of Kambe, Shameful Musa. Aisha Hasma.
Intensive cleanup campaign in the town of Kambe that was called on the behest of the mayor for Kambe in order to keep the municipality clean. This initiative is a collective one as everybody is involved.
So I want to congratulate the population that are willingly taking part, because the town belongs to all of us. And I personally, you can see that I'm here. The phone is on the supervision trade. I've seen the director of the regional people and virtually everybody involved. So I want to encourage and thank the population for this kind of participation.
Amongst the different syndicates and associations who took part in the movement was the Commercial Motorbike Riders Syndicate in Kambe. Some inhabitants applaud this act of cleanliness from the municipal structure.
The mayor has decided that they should clean the whole town. Remove these gutters that is not passing around, it's blocking everywhere. So he wants to clean the road, the gutters, and keep the place clean.
As Mayor Shameful Musa, who wants to ensure Kambe and the entire municipality gains a new facelift at all costs.
Speaking on security, this time around, the Nigerian Armed Force Counter-Terrorism Agency has uncovered and arrested a gang of fuel smugglers in Nigeria who export fuel to Anglophone separatist fighters in the northwest and southwest regions. The presentation of the gang of 8 to the public in Taraba State in north-central Nigeria took place recently, as many pundits say it has gone a long way to tighten the cooperation ties between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Republic of Cameroon. Titus. The latest communique from the Nigerian Armed Force Counter-Terrorism Agency indicates they have successfully dismantled a fuel smuggling syndicate in Nigeria who supplies fuel to Anglophone separatist fighters in Cameroon. The successful operation that was conducted along the Abongongbi-Bayelsa Road in Taraba State in northeastern Nigeria saw the arrest of some 8 Nigerian nationals who range from the age range of 19 and 34. With the said communique, the Army indicates the suspect all attest of smuggling and selling fuel to Anglophone separatists in Cameroon, as they have been forbidden from entering into the most populous black nation in the world. The proceeding of investigation at the moment of their arrest saw them in possession of 3 vehicles containing 605 drums of fuel that amounts to 24,200 liters of fuel. Proper investigation has been opened to further detect other members of the said syndicate. This chapter of the arrest of these Nigerian nationals explains a remarkable success towards the cooperation ties between Nigeria and Cameroon and the fight towards the end of the Anglophone conflict in the northwest and southwest regions. And we move on to one of our major stories. As we did mention, the rainbow nation of South Africa today saw some 28 million South Africans who took to the polls to cast their vote for who to lead the country in the 4 years periods that will be coming. This time, these elections for 2024, so we've seen the African National Congress Party of Cyril Ramaphosa, who will be having a tough time, as many South Africans are frustrated with the manner in which the African National Congress Party has been managing the affairs of the rainbow nation of Nelson Mandela for the past 30 years. With the coming of Julius Malema and other political pundits are quite observant that today's election might mar or marks the political face of South Africa. Aishambe Asmo.
South Africans have begun voting on Wednesday, May 29, 2024, in an election seen as the country's most important in 30 years and one that could put their young democracy in unknown territory. At stake is the 3-decade dominance of the African National Congress Party, ANC, which led South Africa out of apartheid's brutal white minority rule in 1994. It is now the target of a new generation of discontent in a country of 62 million people, half of whom are estimated to be living in poverty.
How do we know who's the right people to vote for? Because now it's election, all of the people is going to come for promises, and they're going to say there's food parcels for us, they're going to say they're going to build houses for us, they're going to say everything, but after tomorrow, they forget about us.
The lingering inequality with poverty and joblessness disproportionately affecting the black majority threatens to unseat the party that promised to end it by bringing down apartheid under the slogan of a better life for all.
I want to see change. I know change won't happen overnight, but it will eventually happen.
I hope my vote will bring change in the country as a whole.
After winning 6 successful national elections, several polls have been the ANC support at less than 50% ahead of this one, an unprecedented drop. It might lose its majority in parliament for the first time, although it is widely expected to hold the most seats.
When you have parties that think that they are the master of all solutions, the source of all wisdom, and meantime South Africa, I've traveled the provinces, this is one of the most talent-rich countries on earth. And then when somebody monopolizes decision-making, monopolizes jobs, monopolizes everything, that is what needs to be broken.
Support has been fading. The ANC won 57.5% of the vote in the last national election in 2019, its worst result till date. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, the leader of the ANC, has promised to do better as the ANC asks for more time and patience.
This country are not going to allow the ANC to go below 50%.
It is worth noting that any change in the ANC's hold on power could be monumental for South Africa. If it does lose its majority, the ANC will likely face the prospect of having to form a coalition with others to stay in government and keep Ramaphosa as president, whereas having an ANC to co-govern has never happened before. The election will be held on one day across South Africa's 9 provinces, with nearly 28 million people registered to vote at more than 23,000 polling stations. Final results are expected by Sunday. Ramaphosa was due to cast his vote in the morning in Johannesburg township of Soweto, where he was born and which was once the epicenter of the resistance to apartheid. The opposition to the ANC in this election is fierce but fragmented. The two biggest opposition parties, the Democratic Alliance (DA) and the Economic Freedom Fighters (AFF), are not predicted to increase their votes by anything near enough to overtake the ANC. In conclusion, the vote will showcase the country's contradictions, from the economic hub of Johannesburg, labeled as Africa's richest city, to the picturesque tourist destination of Cape Town, and to the informal settlements of sharks in their outskirts.
Fascinating reporting there done by Aisha Mbeng. And with that story from the Rainbow Nation of Nelson Mandela, South Africa, this is where we conclude tonight's news package for today of Wednesday, the 29th of May 2024. Thanks for watching and good night from our new studio. But do not go anywhere, as at the top of the hour, exactly 9 p.m, Uncle Timan will be here with the news in the Pidgin language. Bye-bye.